Am I quitting the jungle? With the new Scuttle Crab changes, patch 8.10, there's been a lot of malcontent within the League of Legends community and the public figures expressing their upsettedness about this patch and the way that it plays and how jungle just isn't that fun to play. And yes, upsettedness is absolutely a word. Trust me, I'm English. So some people are frustrated with this patch and the way that it's changed the jungle and how you have to play the jungle. Like I mentioned, people have been saying that it is the least fun jungle patch that they've ever played on. There are loads of memes knocking about how the jungler is just a scuttle crab wrangler. So there is a lot of negativity flying about surrounding the jungle and these jungle changes, and a lot of that is coming from professional players. But professional players can't quit the jungle because, well, it's kind of sort of their bloody job to play the jungle. But what about the rest of us twats? Where does that leave us? Are we still going to play jungle, or are we going to move on to greener pastures?
No.
And that is the question that I've been asked quite a lot, honestly, with this new patch hitting. So today, not only do I want to answer that question for you, but I also want to go in a bit more detail talking about the changes and just change in general when it comes to League of Legends. So yes, let's get cracking into it, guys. And I suppose the best place to start is by actually answering the question: am I quitting jungle? No, I'm not quitting the jungle. Perhaps a bit anticlimactic for some of you guys. Maybe you've had enough of seeing me feed my ass off on jungle champions and want to see me feed my ass off on a laner. Rest assured, I will still be feeding my ass off, but it will be from that jungle. I mean, the only champion I don't feed my ass off on is essentially Xin Zhao. But I'm kind of screwed now because this patch Xin is so meta. He's like ridiculously good in the jungle. He's like the second best jungler next to Grave, arguably even better than Graves maybe. And yeah, he's like the only champion I can play, and now everyone's playing him. He's going to get banned and then he's going to get nerfed, and I'm just going to be sitting walling around in Diamond 5 crying. Anyway, getting a little bit sidetracked here. There is a lot of hate surrounding the jungle right now, and people saying it's not very fun. So I guess I should take a little bit of time to qualify why exactly I'm not going to quit the jungle. And I guess the first way to address that is to talk a little bit about how public opinion is formed within League of Legends. To be honest, it's not really just League of Legends, it's probably a crap ton of things, but we'll keep it relevant to League. 90% of the negative opinions that you hear, whether it's the jungle changes like these ones or just any change really, it will come from professional players, because professional players are the people who have the most valuable opinion because they're professional players. They play the game for a living. And what often happens is if a professional player, and especially obviously if multiple professional players have a similar opinion, the general public will adopt that opinion as well. Issue with doing that though is that sometimes professional players get it wrong, and more importantly, professional players are expressing an opinion from a standpoint that honestly isn't really that relatable to most of us, most League of Legends players, most of the general public. Like honestly, the way the professional players experience League of Legends is so vastly different to the way you and I will experience League of Legends. It's like if Channing Tatum were to try and reassure you and tell you that it's easy to pick up birds, but you're sitting there ugly as sin, bit out of shape, and a wallet as empty as your soul. Pro players are playing in Challenger, and in Challenger you've got like a handful of players who are just really bloody good at the game. They fully understand how to play the game, how to do the optimal strategies for winning. And not only that, but the players inside Challenger will be making significantly fewer mistakes than the rest of us plebs. So when you combine a high understanding of optimal strategy with a tendency to not make too many mistakes, what you end up getting are games that do follow the optimal trends for winning League of Legends. At least you get it on a much larger scale than you do anywhere else. However, when you consider the fact that the vast majority of the League of Legends player base is silver and below, and I think it's fair to say that the skill discrepancy between Challenger and silver is moderately high, which means that the quality of games in silver will be, dare I say it, slightly lower than you would see in Challenger, and as such that will be the experience of League of Legends that the majority of the player base will have.
Really?
And the thing is that until you reach like Diamond 1 and above, you don't have to play League of Legends in the most optimal style to bring out victories. Solo queue outside of Diamond 1, which is like 0.2 0.02% or something like that. It's really not that important to have an optimal strategy to win. Like at the end of last season when I was in Diamond 1 and I was trying to get Master Tier, if I was ever playing on a lower ranked account on one of my Smurfs, I would have to change the way I was playing to be successful. Like the way I was playing on my Diamond 1 account was so different to the way I had to play on my Diamond 5 account. It was just like they were completely different games. And I know this is anecdotal evidence, but my point is that when I wasn't playing on my main account, when I was playing on like Diamond 5 or something like that, I didn't have to use the optimal strategies to win. In fact, sometimes using the optimal strategies was actually bad and detrimental to me winning. You know, I'm not trying to say like a Diamond 1 player is going to get stuck in Diamond 5 or anything like that. If you're looking for an excuse for your elo, hell, if you are in D5, then I'm sorry, there is no excuse, you just suck. But you will have to adapt your playstyle a little bit and just play a slightly different game. And like I know I'm just completely rambling here, so essentially the point I'm trying to make, guys, is that despite the changes in patch 8.10, despite the crab wrangling, all of the bad stuff you're hearing about it comes from players who are having to play the optimal playstyle and will have to play into those strategies. And hey, maybe those strategies do suck, maybe they're terrible, maybe they're awful and not fun to play in the slightest. But for you and me, for us average plebs, it's really not as bad as people are making it out to be. You don't have to play like the crab is Jesus with 6 legs, or how many bloody legs crabs have. Like, yeah, getting the crab is great. You know, it's a free camp, it gives you free experience, free gold, it doesn't fight back. It's great to take. If you can get it, grab it. But it's still not better than ganking lanes and applying pressure to lanes and influencing the game that way. Like, you can take every single crab in the game, but if the enemy jungler outganks you, there's a high chance that you're still going to lose that game despite having perfect crab control. Essentially, a lot of negativity that you're hearing surrounding this patch is coming from a perspective that you don't really need to worry about. Of course, it's not just the scuttle crabs that the changes in this patch. Now you need to do an extra camp to get level 3, but really that's not a big deal for the vast majority of meta junglers. You just literally take an extra camp and maybe you do your first gank like 15 or 20 seconds slower, or you just go for a level 2 gank, which is quite popular nowadays as well. So it's not a huge change there either. Of course, I'm not trying to imply that if you're not in Challenger that you're an idiot, you're basically a loser, and that these changes have zero impact on the way that you play League of Legends. Of course, there should be some adaptations to your game, but the point I'm trying to make is it's not as oppressive or overwhelming as it might sound when you listen to public opinion. Something I also want to mention about public opinion is a bit of a history lesson surrounding the trends of the community's viewpoints when it comes to change in League. Now, the jungle gets changed a hell of a lot, and every single time it does, people complain like there's nobody's business. I remember when Regal's Lantern was introduced, everyone hated that. When the Season 3 jungle items were introduced, everyone hated that. Remember when the Season 3 jungle items were removed? Everyone hated that. Remember when they added in smite bonuses to the game? Everyone hated that. I remember when they took away those smite bonuses. Everyone hated that. I remember when they introduced that you could smite players. Everyone hated that. I remember when they introduced plants into the game. Everyone hated that. Guys, I've been playing League of Legends since 2010. I've been around for a fair while. I've seen a lot of different changes, and I can tell you that anytime there's a change, especially in the jungle, everyone hates it more than a fat kid hates push-ups. So I'm just sitting here not really too worried about the changes, combined with the fact that, like I say, I think that the public opinion gets completely skewed and it's hugely overblown. Honestly, and this is the most important part of the video that I'm going to say now, guys, do not listen to public opinion when it comes to this stuff. Instead, just see what you need to do to have fun in League and do it. A lot of times, your way of having fun will be poisoned if you listen too much to public opinion. You'll think that it's impossible to do what you want to do, to have fun in the way that you want to have fun, because of what someone in the community has told you. Just don't listen to it. Honestly, just do what you need to do to have fun, as long as it's not, you know, hugely at the expense of your teammate. And for me, I still have fun doing the same stuff in the jungle like I was doing before, just with a few extra scuttle cabs chucked into the mix. So that's why I'm not quitting the jungle. I don't really see a need to. I'm still having fun playing the jungle. Not as much has changed as you might think from what you've been hearing, So I'm going to still keep running around the jungle and feeding my ass off. Thanks so much for watching the video, guys. Thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe to me for more, and I will see you in my next video.